Hello students, we are going to continue with our biology lecture, and in today's bio lecture we are going to study the next kingdom in our 5 kingdom system of classification, and that is kingdom Protista. Now kingdom Protista is nothing but the kingdom of unicellular eukaryotes. So these organisms have their bodies made up of single cell, one cell, so unicellular. But the cell has well organized nucleus. So these are all organisms with evolved nucleus, so eukaryotes. Now if we study the characteristic features of this unicellular eukaryotes belonging to the kingdom Protista, then what do we find? That these organisms which belong to kingdom Protista have links with all the other eukaryotic kingdoms. Okay. Now when you go to that cladogram of 5 kingdom system of classification, above Protista we have 5 lines of evolution, 3 lines of evolution. One evolving to kingdom Animalia, kingdom Fungi and kingdom Plantae. All these organisms of all these 3 kingdoms, the organisms belonging to kingdom Plantae, kingdom Fungi and kingdom Animalia, all are eukaryotic organisms. How are these? Eukaryotic organisms. And an interesting fact is that these animals or these organisms belonging to the kingdom Protista have links to each of these 3 kingdoms of eukaryotes, the kingdom Plantae, the kingdom Fungi and the kingdom Animalia. So we have in the kingdom Protista some protists which are animal-like, we call them as animal-like protists. Some which are plant-like, we call them as plant-like protists. Some protists are like, in fact these are called as dinoflagellates. So these are specific, very special type of protists. Some protists are like the fungi, we call them as fungi-like protists, and some protists will show characteristics similar to animals as well as the plants. These are called as the euglenoids. What are these called? Euglenoids. So in kingdom Protista, we are going to study plant-like protists, animal-like protists, the dinoflagellates, the fungi-like protists and the eugneloids. Okay. So when we go for the study of this, each of this type will be a point important from the point of view of examination, and you may be asked write note type questions. Diagrams, well-labeled figures are most important in all of this. So as we go with the chapter, as we go with this kingdom Protista, I am going to draw the well-labeled diagram which you have to definitely practice. Okay students? So let us begin with the basic characteristics of kingdom Protista. So we'll list down the basic characteristics and then we'll go for their types. So what are the general characteristics? The general characteristics, 2 of these characteristics you get from what we have already referred. These are unicellular eukaryotic organisms. So what are these? These are unicellular eukaryotes. Body made up of only one cell, nucleus is well developed. So these are unicellular eukaryotes. How do they live? They are found solitary, that means living singly, or may form colonies. Some of them are those which may form colonies, otherwise they are found singly. Okay. Third, these all organisms, these all protists are mostly aquatic in their habitat. That means they live with water. So mostly aquatic. Most of them will be found living in water. Mostly aquatic. 4. Cell wall may or may not be present. So those protists which are like plants, those protists which are like fungi, okay, these will have cell wall. But those protists which are like animals, in them cell wall will be absent. So the protist will have cell wall or may not have cell wall. So cell wall may be present or may be absent. Now we have these as eukaryotes. So membrane bound nucleus and membrane bound cell organelles are present. So they will have membrane bound cell organelles which are absent in prokaryotic organisms. Okay. Now these are going to be the general characteristics in which we are going to add regarding their nutrition, their reserved food material and their type of reproduction. So how do they get their food? What is their nutrition? Now their mode of nutrition is varying. That means it will be different. Why it will be different, students? Yes, because some are plant-like. If these are plant-like, they have to be autotrophic in their mode of nutrition. That means photosynthetic. If these are fungi-like, they have to be saprophytic, living on dead decaying organic matter. And if these are animal-like, they have to be holozoic. That is getting their food, catching their prey and eating it. That is holozoic mode of nutrition. पकड़ के मुंह में डालना, catch करके मुंह में डालना. That is called as holozoic mode of nutrition. So if these are animal-like, definitely they will be having holozoic mode of nutrition. And if in fact some of them are parasitic, they live in the bodies of other organisms, then they will have parasitic mode of nutrition. So their nutrition mode may be what type? Photosynthetic, holozoic, saprophytic or parasitic. Okay. Then what will be the reserved food material in them? The reserved food material that will be present in these organisms will be either starch if plant-like, glycogen if animal-like and fat. So reserved food material is starch, glycogen or fat. That is the reserved food material. Okay. Then do these organisms move? They may move. So locomotory organs are flagella, cilia or pseudopodia as in amoeba. Okay, these are their locomotory organs. Then what is the mode of reproduction? They will show both modes of reproduction, sexual as well as asexual. So reproduction is by sexual or asexual method. Okay? So they will be showing sexual mode of reproduction or will show asexual mode of reproduction. are the general characteristics of those organisms which belong to the kingdom Protista. What I want you to do is, you have to revise these characteristics, know them well. So when anyone says kingdom Protista, these characteristics should be in your mind, so that you will be able to distinguish between the different living organisms around us. These are unicellular, so definitely these are going to be microscopic, or these will not be visible to your naked eye. But with the characteristic, we are able to distinguish between different unicellular organisms. So I want you to revise these characteristics well. Okay, so these are the 9 characteristics, general characteristics of kingdom Protista. Now what are we going to go for is, these protists, as I said, are links between the kingdom Plantae, kingdom Fungi and kingdom Animalia. So they have links with all these 3 kingdoms. So let us study the types of protists. So the first type is plant-like protist. Second type is animal-like protist. Third type is the dinoflagellate. The fourth type is fungi-like protist. And the fifth type is euglenoids. And we have to study characteristic of each of this type with their examples. Okay? Now let us go for the first type of protists. These are plant-like protists. Plant-like protists. Now these plant-like protists are called, they are being given spatial terms. These are termed as chrysophytes. What are these called? Chrysophytes. Okay? A one-liner question. Commonly, what are these called? These are commonly called phytoplanktons. Again a one-liner. So, plant-like protists are termed chrysophytes and their common name is phytoplanktons. Planktons which are very minute, microscopic. Okay, so these are plant-like microscopic unicellular organisms. So, phytoplanktons. Okay, now as I have said, these are plant-like microscopic. So what will be the next characteristic? These are going to be microscopic in nature. You will be able to see them only through the microscope. Okay, and photosynthetic. They carry on photosynthesis and produce their own food. Okay. Now, very important characteristic of these phytoplanktons is we find them in oceans. Okay, where are they mostly found? These are found, in fact, all the protists are mostly aquatic. So, the oceans on our earth are filled with these phytoplanktons. And they are so in such a large number that they become the major producers of the oceans. So these are major producers. Producers का मतलब जानते हो, जो खुद इनफैक्ट फूड प्रोड्यूस करते हैं for other living organisms. These are termed as producers. As these are photosynthetic, these will be majorly producing the food. So these are the producers, and major producers of the oceans are this phytoplankton. So these are major producers of ocean. Okay. Now what is an important characteristic of these? In fact, these protists are called as diatoms. What are they called? Diatoms. Why are these called as diatoms? Because their body, okay, wall, the cell wall, this cell wall is very unique and it is made up of, okay, silica. So entire cell wall is made up of very hard material, which is silica. But this cell wall will be having two parts, okay, as if like a soap case. All of you know what is a soap case? So soap case has a part in which we keep the soap, and then there is a part with which we cover that. So just like the soap case, their body wall will be in two forms, okay, but both these parts are made up of silica. Made up of what? Silica, SiO2, silicon oxide, which is a very hard material. So their body wall is made up of silica, and it forms two parts which are just like a soap case, okay. Now when these organisms, in fact when the organism dies, this siliceous cover, this cover of silica remains like that, okay, and then it forms the earth, shining sand. This is called as diatomaceous earth. What is it called? Diatomaceous earth. Now this diatomaceous earth is made up of such silica covers. So obviously it is going to be very hard. So used for grinding and polishing purpose. Used for what? Grinding and polishing purpose. This is going to be a short answer type question. So let us make a record of it. Of what is the cell wall made up of? Silica. So it is in the form like a soap case with how many parts? Two parts. Remains of cell wall form. What does it form? Diatomaceous earth. For what is this diatomaceous earth used? It is used in polishing and filtration purpose. Okay, this is a short answer type question. What is diatomaceous earth?